Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And today we'll talk about post-marketing surveillance. So within the EU MDR, we have not a new thing. It's something that was already existing, which is post-marketing surveillance. But there are a bit more requirements for it. And we'll talk specifically about proactive and reactive actions that should be done for the post-marketing surveillance collection of information. So mainly, and for that, we have with us, Marcus Emne, the founder and CEO of Hoodin. So Marcus, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's really an honor, and it's going to be great fun to join you. It's my first time, and I think it's a very interesting topic. So
no, I think it's great. And we discussed about that a bit also, and it's why it was really interesting to maybe share what you are doing also at Hoodin. But before that, can you make an introduction of yourself and maybe Hoodin also?
Absolutely. I think, of course, a lot of viewers and listeners don't know me and probably don't know Hoodin either, since we're a rather new star on the life science sky. And short about me, I have a long history and background from management consulting in high tech and life science. And ever since I started, and so long time ago, I've been dealing with the fact that it's very cumbersome to monitor and retrieve needed information for decision making, and also the process around that, no matter if it's strategy, sales, marketing, and so on. But over the last couple of years, I ended up focusing more on the regulatory part, quality and regulatory and compliance part. Not only me, the entire company, of course, but it actually evolved from me having an event in my family where my oldest daughter had a knee injury, and it was 2018, okay. And both the titanium screws were contaminated and ended up with 8 surgeries and a quite tough period especially for Ebba, my daughter. And I felt that I really want to make sure that no other kid nor family should experience a situation like this. Is there anything I can do? And I realized that it was hard to report this or know even who to talk to, and how can we file this somehow? And at the same time, I met with Annette Sjögren, who has been partly a co-author of MDR, if I'm not mistaken. She's extremely experienced and skilled, and she informed me more in depth regarding the upcoming changes of MDR. And since that day, we started to focus entirely on life science more. Well, we started to focus more and more on life science and medical devices. And the last 1.5 years or 2 years, we've been entirely focusing on life science and more over to regulatory intelligence. So that's my short background. And Hoodin is a company. We're a SaaS company with a intelligence platform for compliance, if you like. You can do a little bit more than so, but mainly it's used for regulatory intelligence and the vigilance part of compliance the vigilance part, and also technology.
So I had a chance with you also to have a small demo of it, and you are really able to capture information that can be interesting for the regulators, for people that are creating some reports, or to just gather information about a certain product, technology, etc. So then to gather those information and then capitalize that to create a kind of a report. And post-marketing surveillance is mainly one of the topic that can be interested to be, if I can say, used with your tool. But before to talk about that, and we'll not really go through the tool exactly, but we just go through
this is not a sales meeting.
Exactly, yeah. Just wanted to clarify that, because just for people to not think that we'll explain you how the tool works, etc. No, the idea is here to explain exactly what is post-marketing surveillance, why it's important to have that, and mainly also what kind of solutions are existing to do that. But for maybe people that are starting to say, oh, I have maybe been asked by some bosses or for some managers to create a post-marketing surveillance. If we had to explain to those people that have no clue what we are talking about. So what is a post-marketing surveillance, and maybe also what are the things that are really important to understand about post-marketing surveillance?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, few minutes.
Okay, well, then we'll go for the short version. Sorry about my headphone is popping out. Well, post-market surveillance, simply put, it's a part of MDR in kind of the regulatory aspect, but you can think of it as whenever your product has entered the market, you need to stay compliant. This is a simplified explanation, right? You would need to bring in evidence of the fact that your product's risk level or how it may increase or decrease patient safety, quality, and so forth, does not change over time. And you need to explain how you secure this, that you receive complaints and that you act according to complaints or maintenance that have been formed, your literature review, post-clinical trials or external trials, and so on. So you need to gather a lot of information to make sure that there is no delta really, or if there is a delta regarding the safety of your product, you need to report it and then also state what kind of action it is. So it's a pure patient safety or risk prevention activity really with a product that is on your market, and to maintain your CE marking.
Exactly. Yeah. So CE marking is, post-marketing surveillance is important for CE marking. It's also existing. We had another episode on post-marketing surveillance also before for the US market. Here we are really trying to focus more on the EU market. So mainly it's everything, any monitoring that happens after you start to sell your device for the first time. So anything that is happening, then you have mainly to gather those information and provide then a reporting about that. In terms of EU MDR, which is the new legislation, so it's not new. It's not something that is new because of EU MDR. It was already existing before. So can we have maybe if you can help on understanding what has changed when EU MDR came, if there is anything that is completely new that was created, or if there is a new requirement, what exactly, is it more difficult to make it now than before, or this kind of thing?
I think the most important thing, MDR compared to MDD, there's a lot of changes, and some are more important to others depending on what kind of device type you have and how mature you are and experienced you are. So it's really hard to generalize, but I think if you really analyze some of the differences that I find interesting, would be that words such as proactive and systematic is mentioned more often in MDR compared to MDD. But I think the most important aspect of the thing is that there is always a layer of complexity evolving when a regulation is new. It's not really the delta, it's the fact that it is new, or the combination of the delta. Because
I completely relate to that, because we had also the same story. I think we discussed about that also on the podcast with the clinical evaluation. It was more like why everybody is now talking about clinical evaluation. Is there any change to the regulation, etc.? At the end, the change is really minimal. But this put a highlight, if I can say, on this topic and everything, and now everybody is focusing on that. So I think for post-marketing surveillance, it can be also the same. There are some changes, but it's not like a huge change, and people should still be able to do it. It's just that they have to follow some few new rules, so to apply that.
Yeah, and I think any regulation, no matter if it's medical devices or automotive or any industry, the nature of a regulation is that it states what to be done, not how it should be done. And best practices evolve over time. And the reason why it's written like that is because there are innovations, and the world is changing. So if the legal health authorities would dictate how things should be done, you would make the entire industry stall. So there's a good reason and a clever reason why to formulate the regulation that the how question is never really answered. That is up to the market.
And I can maybe relate to that because I have the experience of both pharmaceutical and medical device. In the pharma industry, they are telling exactly how to do that. They are giving some guidelines of do this like that, because the pharmaceutical, if I can say, formulas or solutions are nearly the same. It's something that you ingest or you inject or whatever. Here for medical devices, you can talk about wheelchair, about pacemaker, MRI, implants, some dialyzer, etc. So it's so big, the scope, that if you start to say how to do it, it can be maybe a bit difficult, because there is always an exception. There is always something that is a bit different. So it's better to say where to go or what we want you to achieve. And then you define if there are some standards existing or not, you define how to go there. But yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people that get confused when we say you have to make a post-marketing surveillance. And the next question is how we do that. Say, I don't know, find your way, if I can say. I mean, there are some guidance, etc., but it's more like it depends on your products. It depends on what exactly you are trying to put on the market.
Yeah. And best practices evolve over time, and that is probably why post-market surveillance may occur more complex at the early stage of reaching compliance in regard to the new regulation. So, and that's the funny thing with regulations as well. It's often formulated such as you should do it at your best effort.
Exactly.
And if you start to think of, what is best effort? Really, is it just how great I am today? Is that the best effort? No, it is how great I can be tomorrow, and how others will think of me doing the best effort. And so I need to research constantly what is the best practice. And also scout for new tools, new processes, new methods, and keep myself and our team and our company evolving in the matters to stay compliant. Because if you get an audit from a notified body and you mention that, we do this best effort and we do it like this and this and this, and they have experiences from companies that do it 100 times smarter and better, you'll have a problem.
Exactly. Yeah, the standard is defined by, if I can say, experience also from auditors. Some auditors have experience on certain field and they know exactly what is the standard for this field and how people should do that. If I remember, we talked with Martin Witte from TÜV Süd and we talked about cardiological products, and we have some standard, but you have also the state of the art or knowledge about how things should be normally done. So yeah, even sometimes the standard is below what normally should be done. So it's something that they have to look at. So in terms of post-marketing surveillance, so we have the activity to be done, like in the EU MDR, we say that we have to do a post-marketing surveillance plan, and we have to do a post-marketing surveillance report, and we call it a PSUR, so periodic safety update report for the post-marketing surveillance report. That is for class 2A, 2B, and 3. So in terms of that, on the plan, mainly it's to plan how you will execute your post-marketing surveillance. So it's to say, I will do it on that way, with this methodology, with this, etc., these things. And as you've said also, it's something that was already done before, but now the change is also on the word that is like proactive, and then the contrary, which is maybe more reactive. So can we maybe more clarify what's this and how this changed completely the way to do the post-marketing surveillance now?
Absolutely. And this, I think, is a piece, where people struggle a lot. First of all, just to make it clear, it's not about being proactive or reactive.
Yeah.
That is somewhat of a misunderstanding at some point of time, or some people and companies. Any medical device company has to deal with both of these contexts or methods. And proactive, that means slightly different things depending on the context where the word is mentioned in MDR, is mentioned 4 times. in the relation to post-market surveillance. It might be mentioned more often in other parts of MDR. And in some of the aspects, it means that you should be proactive to prevent risks or of event before they occur, really. That's a typical way of interpreting proactivity. Then in some other aspects, I think you should think of it as establishing a systematic approach towards retrieving information intelligence in order to gain insight and data into the real world performance of a device. So it could mean slightly different things, depending on the context, and that is what I think it's important that you're aware of. Then the reactive part, that's a complement, really. You have to do both. And reactive post-market surveillance, that's equally important, really. And in many ways, I think it's more challenging in many ways due to the amount of time and resources needed to carry this part out. And again, it depends on what type of device you have. And of course, also the better you become with the proactive post-marketing surveillance work, some of the reacting part will diminish over time, right? Because they will never occur. And yet there are areas that no company really can reach via proactivity, no matter how hard they try. So for the reactive part, which often is mentioned as vigilance, you need to deal with the complaints that comes in. That will be one part that will diminish over time if you work more with the proactive part.
Exactly.
The unsolicited reporting, it's a big chunk. This is, untapped areas for many because it includes social media.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies, either they, hide from the fact or just are reluctant to understand, but it is included. And hey, wake up. You need to start looking. And it's a gold mine of good information. So don't be afraid to start utilizing those channels.
Yeah, and I know that people are more hiding and said, I don't want to look at that part or whatever. But normally, if there is, for example, I give always the example on my courses, like if there is a Facebook group, for example, or something that is talking about my device is this device is the baddest device ever, if I can say, or whatever. The idea is to try to go to this group and to see what's the problem and what's the issue, and see if there is some relevant information also. I think that there are a lot of things where, on the internet, it's not like you have to trust everything that is said, but it's more about trying to collect information and to investigate and verify and check and show that you are doing that also. And having that on your procedure is also something that is important to show to the auditors that, yes, you are also covering this part.
Yeah, and I think, there's, when thinking of post-market surveillance, majority of every people I talk to think about it as a part of MDR and that you need to do it to stay compliant. But if you think twice, it's really a gold mine for business.
Yeah.
So if you, regulatory affairs person, hearing this, seeing this, start to think of yourself and what you do as a business intelligence provider, really, because think about it. If you would start to listen on social media and discussion forums of patients groups that uses your device or competition devices, and you could retrieve that information, compile it, and report it back to whomever has interest in that information, not only the notified body, but also, C-level, they would start to pay attention more to what you say, not only that part, but also the regulatory part and all the other parts that you often say management don't listen, management don't care. Yeah. So there's a dual effects of dealing with that. And I hope if we just stay at social media and discussion forums for a while, I think a good approach is to start just listening.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then as you feel confident, I strongly recommend any medical device company to take part in the dialogue.
Yeah, to have some kind of moderator that goes and checks and verify and maybe ask, I'm here to support, etc. So we have that on sometime on the forums to have some people that are openly saying, I'm from the company, let me know and I can help you. Let's have a discussion and see exactly what's your problem, and then we can try to solve it, etc. Just because they don't want to hear that bad things about their company, but also that we want to help mainly the customers to have a great experience also. So
Exactly.
it's also showing some good services also. By if we see that those people are also listening to those forums, it's also showing that they are caring and they are wanting to support and to help, which is also a great thing.
Yep. And you would scare away the trolls.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because when you ask, you had a bad experience, can you maybe talk with me and then provide me your serial number for your products, and then we can look at that and I can register your complaint and verify and have somebody calling you or verify. Then maybe they are more scared and maybe they will disappear and not talk to you at all from that.
Exactly.
But it's good that you are recording that also.
Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com.
Yeah, so a message to the regulatory friends of ours that listens to this again. Now you should also make sure that you receive some of the sales bonuses if you start to engage in the dialogue.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I had also the example of some people that are traveling and they have opened a bag with the name of their company, and some people are coming to them. Oh, you are from this company. You know, I have this implant also on my body, and I'm hearing a zing 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 or whatever, some kind of noise. What should I do? I mean, they are starting to do that, and the guy said, I'm not really on this department, but the point is also that normally the rule for the company is that each time there is this kind of request, unsolicited request, also that they have to record that or to send that to the right department also. So we have the logistical way, logic way, if I can say, to say there is a complaint number, call it, but at a certain point, you have also to get information from all the different sources because you are never sure that they will call this number. So if you get an information, you have also to gather that. So you see, there is multiple ways to get those unsolicited feedback then.
It is. But the majority of it would obviously, be some kind of digital.
Exactly.
And making sure that you're listening and retrieving information from social media forums is definitely important. And the last part of where we were at, the reactive part of post-market surveillance, and this is a huge area, and I highly recommend all of you to start investigating this now.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have the registries and the adverse event reporting, very time-consuming, but also very important. You have the literature reviews and potential external trials. All of those are grouped under reactive post-market surveillance, and the vigilance part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about proactive? So do you have some examples of proactive that maybe we can give an idea to those people that are trying to do those post-marketing surveillance? Because on the EU MDR, when you are doing your post-marketing surveillance plan, you have to define what is your strategy for proactive requests. So when I try to explain to the people what is proactive, I say to them, like, it's like you are waking up and or standing up and going outside your company and trying to check try to gather information, but initiating the action. So meaning that it's not you are like reactive, just waiting at your desk or chair and waiting that, as you said, that complaints come and unsolicited feedback come or whatever. No, it's you are proactively going to the market and trying to get those information. So do we have some examples of proactive actions that maybe people can follow?
Yeah, and again, we need to split the word proactive into different contexts. The one you just described is really an old-fashioned do, reflect, apply process where you try to improve yourself, but it's still reactive. The event occurred already.
Yeah.
The proactive part systematically would be to start to analyze and perform like a feasibility study of your own processes and interfaces where an event may occur. and try to understand where in the processes before could we put in an action to prevent this from ever happening. So it's a, it's a foresighting, future telling exercise, really. And then we have the other part of the proactive that you just mentioned. And I think that this is where most people miss out. That it's missed out of the context where it belongs, and that also that it is very abstract when explained. And I think a good way forward is that you should try to simplify it and think of those operational examples, because you can't never become 100% proactive in all aspects of quality, hence deliver patient safety overnight. You could have that as a goal, but thinking that, okay, so to reach compliance, we have tomorrow be proactive in all aspects. No, that's impossible. You would need a crystal ball, right, to see the future. So proactivity in general should be related to processes and this systematic approach, starting with the feasibility of operations and the information that you have.
Yeah, and as you said, more proactive you are, less reactive actions will have to be done, because normally you are trying to if I can say, find the issues or find the problems before they are happening. So then you are avoiding those complaints or issues on the market. So it's just to see that this is also an investment for your company, so that it's providing you some benefit, but not, as you said, overnight benefit. So it will take a bit of time, but at the end, normally you will see some kind of balance here in terms of the outcomes for each of
and it's an ever rolling wheel, really. And think of this, do reflect, apply. Do you have system that supports you in this? You might escalate things to your quality system, quality management system, and so on. But if we take that aside, it's really that if you find something, a reactive post-market surveillance finding, no matter if it's literature or unsolicited, you need to bring that in, consider, okay, how can we feed the proactive part of this to prevent this from happening again? Was it maybe some part of the instruction of the device that made this happen, or was it a component, or what was it? Root cause analysis. And then you put that in the proactive box, and start to find where in the process do we need to improve. Exactly. It's a simplified way of thinking of it.
Yeah. So at this time we are talking a lot about the EU MDR with all those new requirements. So we are talking about those notified bodies that have not a lot of capacity. We are talking about all the reports, all the investment that we have to do on the post-marketing surveillance. And when we are looking now on the other side about the tools that are available to help us for this kind of things, we are seeing that there are some digital tools like Hoodin, where you are trying to help. But we are also seeing like some new tools that are arriving, like artificial intelligence tool like ChatGPT, for example, that is arriving, and you are asking the question and it provides the answer. I mean, you can ask the question to ChatGPT about PMS in general, but you cannot ask them specifically about a specific product or whatever, because they are just trying to read some information. I mean, I never tried. I should maybe have tried that with ChatGPT, just to ask about if you can make a full post-marketing surveillance report for a certain type of products, etc. But I will try that. But AI, artificial intelligence,
I wouldn't recommend to go that direction, though. No. But you can go ahead and try.
I can try. I mean, I'm always trying those kind of things, but I'm seeing that it's not working very, very well. So it's mainly the thing. But the technology is there, but it has still to be improved. But how
I would differ on that opinion. I'm sorry.
Tell me.
When it comes to artificial intelligence, AI is like a dog.
Yeah.
So if you don't know the commands to show and tell the dog to go and bring that, stick back or paper that you wanted to pick up, if you don't know the exact commands, you will fail. And that's the art with artificial intelligence, that only the ones that knows the commands will master the tool. And that's where we are young all of us more or less, we don't really know how to phrase these questions in the correct manner, and we ask too much. At the same time, maybe you need to split it up and think of, okay, so I need this very niched part. I need you to help me with this, and then this. Now we go like, fix everything, please.
Exactly.
And we get shit back. Oh, sorry.
No, but it's exactly that. And I said, trying to, if I can say, use those artificial intelligence tools should be important for the new generation or the people that are now working with it. But yeah, learning how to use it is also something important. As you've said, at the beginning, when I was using ChatGPT, for example, I was asking the big question and try to receive the answer, and it was not good. But now, as you've said, we learn to ask him the first question, then he understand the context, then ask him the second question, it's like a conversation, but more detail you provide, more he analyze, and more he can provide you the right feedback or feedback. Even sometimes he makes some mistakes, so we tell him it makes some mistakes, and then sorry, yeah, you are right, and here is the right answer, etc. So it's funny how these interactions are happening. But how do you think this can help the regulatory quality people? Is it something that will be revolutionary for our industry also in terms of quality and regulatory affairs, or it's just a gadget for the moment?
Completely. It will change everything. Over the next 5 to 10 years, it will look completely different in the way we work today within regulatory and quality. And I think it's a strict wake-up call now, really, to start to educate yourselves and start to bring your own visions, really, to think how AI can help, because it will change everything. Just think of it, and it's in many ways. It's just not AI will change everything the same way. It's, again, small components here and there that either will disappear completely because of the robots would do it much better than any human can do, and no CFO would, in 5 years from now, allow to put human resources into certain types of jobs. The CFO will definitely be very aware of where you can use AI and where you cannot, especially since AI is coming through the world in times of recessions and downtime, not so good economic situations in the world. So, and that's a coincidence, right? But my foretelling is that the CFOs will be part of those that will actually make this happen even faster. So I think in many ways, regulatory affairs and quality assurance, that's two information and communication heavy areas. And when anything is information heavy, AI, automations, and machine learning comes into play, really. So these three components, and they are different. AI, the only way we know AI today would be ChatGPT and OpenAI. That really works. It works as a human brain, really, but it does not have any emotions. Automations, that's when we have repetitive things that we do often, and we would like to have triggers to happen if A happens. It's if programming, really. And then we have the machine learning, when we teach the machine to do this in a certain way. So there are relations between automations and machine learning. And to be frank, I would be, I'd like to be a little bit tough and say that if you don't start to investigate and try out these tools and what it can enable for you, AI, automations, and machine learning, you will stall. Your team will stall, and your company will stall. And you need to do it now, today.
So is it like the numerical revolution, for example, for photograph, so cameras, like before it was with all those your analogical tools, and now it becomes numerical, and some companies died, or like mobile phones that were all with those touch buttons, and now it's all screen, digital touching screen, and some companies also disappeared.
It's much larger. It's much larger. It's like the industrialization. So the industrialization took place at the it happened over 50 or 60 years, the industrialization. And it changed us from being farmers to move into the cities and replace a lot of manual process-oriented work with machines that supported us. But still, and everyone thought, okay, no one's going to have a job. No, it turned out to be the other way around. We had a shortage of manpower because we needed people to serve the machines, to work with the machines, and a lot of surrounding services that never existed before started to pop up. And the thing, most likely, I don't know, I'm not the future teller, but most likely the same thing will happen with the entrance of AI, that will take over a lot of work that we do today, but there will be new ones evolving and new ways of solving things. And those are the areas that we need to start to get our arms around. The difference here is that it will happen so much faster. We're talking a time frame of 5 to 10 years, maybe even shorter, starting today. So that's the reason why I'm a little bit, I really want this to be a wake-up call. If you don't really know what AI is and what you can use it for, and you tried it out and you listened in on some experts' webinars, maybe book a meeting with me, then you're starting to get late, really.
And so here, for example, as we talk about post-marketing surveillance, so the idea is mainly that if we have an AI tool that can do that, so mainly we give him information that we have about our products, and he's, if I can say, gathering all the information that are possible so that we can build the full post-marketing surveillance and easily, because actually the issue is that gathering the information, doing the analysis, formatting that, etc. This is mainly taking a lot of time also for those people, finding the right databases, the right website, the right, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Even as we talk about social media, so finding maybe some things on social media. So we think that in future, just by making talking the right language with the right wording, etc., making the right request to an AI tool can help to provide in 1 hour something that maybe before we needed 1 week to get.
Yes. And the future is already here. It's a little bit uneven distributed. That's the thing with future and innovation. Yes, and it's possible today.
Okay. And in terms of those activities for AI, so are you also, I mean, Hoodin is also, as I said, we said a solution that is providing some help for Q&A. Are you also moving to that area for your tool?
To AI?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been working and researching AI, for me personally, and the R&D team for 6 years. Starting off with IBM Watson.
Okay.
To analyze this. Yeah, I didn't know that. To analyze the semantics. But Watson, at that point of time, he wasn't much smarter than my cat. Yeah. Really. But we didn't give up because we saw the future. If whatever exists in sci-fi movies like HAL, you've seen the 2001 and the other one too. Yeah, the HAL computer. Or am I mixing up movies?
No, it's that. I think HAL or something like that. Yeah.
HAL 2000, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everything that exists in those sci-fi movies, they tend to happen in reality. So sci-fi authors are very good at predicting the future, in some cases. And that's probably why we knew that this. And we also saw that it became better and better. So at some point in time, it will really be helpful. So we've been investigating this and playing out with it and trying to learn how to train an AI and so on, and who should we collaborate and who should we not collaborate with for our purposes. I mean, AI is not one thing. It's like saying that a car is a car. It's not. You have a Formula One car and you have and so on. But the intention of the technologies is the same. So the speed of the quality of AI really changed last year, and we are now ready to to really implement AI to much higher extent in the Hoodin platform.
Great.
So it will happen any day soon.
Great. So if people wants to hear more about Hoodin, then I think they really have to visit your website and check with you, and maybe, as you said, book a call maybe to talk about AI, and then it could be a really great. So where people can follow up with you, I suppose LinkedIn is the good place, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just to sell in why you should talk to me, Hoodin is Hoodin as a platform, if we mention that first, takes care of automation and machine learning, really, for regulatory purposes and compliance intelligence, just as I said in the beginning. And the AI part is somewhat there already, but it will be much more in the near future. And you can talk to me either because you're interested in that area or the platform per se. The other reason why one should talk to me is that over the years I've been interviewing or talking to more than 400 regulatory and quality assurance professionals, notified bodies reps, legal health authority representatives, and also C-level who takes decision based upon information from regulatory and quality. So I'd love to share my experience and what I've heard in terms of mistakes and misinterpretations and also great cases. And I wish to talk to 200 more this year. So go ahead, just book me up.
No problem. I will put all your details anywhere on the show notes.
Yeah, you could call me. You could hook up on LinkedIn. You can knock on my door. Anyway, it's fine.
Great.
I guess we could drop the links at Easy Medical Device and YouTube and so on. So
exactly, yeah, I will put that, and anyway, yeah, we will have all the details on the show notes, and I will put all the information so that people can contact you. You can also visit Hoodin, the website, and check exactly what you are doing, and maybe if I can say, embrace more the artificial intelligence technologies and see if there is any future for those people using that tool.
Yeah, and certainly just challenge me regarding AI, because I'm not, the one that knows the most, and but I know a lot, and I have my ideas and visions, and that's the cool and interesting thing about the world we're living in now. It's dark and dangerous in many ways, but if we look beyond that, and we need to do that at some point of time to see the light, is all the fantastic medical devices and technology and innovation happening, and what they will mean to us, mankind, in the future, and what we can make out of it.
Yeah,
and those kind of discussions I'd love to have, especially around AI. So I'm more than welcome you all to book me up for a meeting and have a chat about that.
Great, let's do that then.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for this discussion and all the information that you provided, Marcus. And I hope this helps people to understand more about post-marketing surveillance, proactive, reactive, all the AI technology, how this can help also. And then, we can maybe see, if you are right, maybe people will point out again to this episode in the future to say, hey, Marcus was right about AI and machine learning, so it will be great.
And if I'm not, we have to record again.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do that. Okay, Marcus, it was really a pleasure to have you. Really happy to share all this information with our audience, and I hope that it will be helpful also for them. So thank you very much, and I wish you a nice day.
Well, thank you. The pleasure is entirely on my side, and it's been an honor. Truly.
You're welcome.
To be here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.